so that's happened now. How long was it between that time and your release?
It would have been around another 6 months, 6 to 7 months, I'd say.
Okay, so when you were released now, you come out of prison, have you come out of prison a completely transformed person?
I was transformed. My hair was going back to normal.
No red palm trees.
No red palm trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Completely transformed.
Yeah. 4 stones heavier.
Focused. Oh, wonderful. Focused.
Yeah.
Determined to serve the Lord.
Yeah.
So you've gone back to church now.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened when you went back to church? There's so much to your story that I want to get so much from you.
I went back to church. I had homely first of all. They met out for a few days, and then go back. I came back to church on Wednesday night. Bishop Mould-Dyer, my uncle, was preaching. He preached about the sinful woman that touched Jesus. That just like lit my brains up.
Mm-hmm.
Great. When I came back for good, went to church. I just felt worthless. I didn't really feel like, I felt like really glad to be there, but I thought, well, I'm not going to really, what's God going to do with me? But I remember one day Pastor was preaching, and he said something like, when God makes a promise, he doesn't take it back. Yeah. And that really touched my heart. He said, when God has made an agreement with you, he will keep God in his part if you do your part. Yeah. And I really felt God really speaking to me through that. There was a lady who was a choir director at the time, her name was Coral Bowes. Okay. Coral asked me to join the choir. I think she looked at me and thought if I put in the choir, helping to stay in church. Yeah. As mothers do. As mothers do, and she was so right, that was a good move. Yeah. Then I had other friends like Daniel Gordon, a good friend of mine, Christopher, people like that. Good friends that were there to encourage me and help me through. Joined the choir. I started a youth choir with my zeal and passion, and we started to do really well. Okay. And some of the older choir members didn't like it. Okay. So we were told.
Did you coach singers from the older choir?
Coach wasn't quite the word, but yeah. Some of the younger ones, we just got together because, like, you know, after church we used to have a break between services.
Well, I understand.
So we'd sing and whatever. So my pastor said to me, start a group. Yeah. So I started the group Raymond & Co. In 1994.
Which we've all heard of, haven't we? Yeah. Amazing group. Yeah. Tell us about Raymond & Co.
Well, we started at that time. Yeah, we used to be in Raymond & Co.
Oh yeah, briefly. Briefly.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Started the group.
It was wonderful.
It was really, really wonderful. Yeah. Started the group, and you know, we began to go to church and just sing, minister. And yeah, eventually it was just quite evident that God really had a plan. The first major concert we did was the farewell tour for the Winans.
Yes, I remember that.
At Wembley, remember?
I remember that.
Yeah, we did that, and we had some experiences that night.
Yeah, that was great.
And even when we did that, I don't know, we got to that big stage and it felt right.
Right, definitely.
It felt like this is something that's going to keep happening. We carried on, I think in 1998 we had a bit of a turning point where I was like, okay, either we're going to go to the next level what we're doing, or we're going to just end it here. Within weeks of saying that, we went from having no money to someone saying they'd pay for us to do an album.
Yes.
We had all the money, we went into the studio, we recorded the album in a week, and we were asked to do the Kirk Franklin show at the Wolverhampton Civic Hall and at Birmingham Brixton Academy. We did that, and there was just this really unusual response. Yeah. When we came out, everyone started cheering as if it was Kirk.
It really stood out, you did.
And we were like, then even Kirk ran out of his dressing room and was like, what's going on? So we struck up a friendship with Kirk there and then, and we shared the stage for many times after that as a result. But yeah, it was very clear that God was there. We did that in 1999, put the album out, spent a couple more years on the road singing, travelling, singing at big churches, blah, blah, blah. And then we went up to GMTV. They had a competition trying to find the face of UK gospel. We entered the competition. Long story short, we won the competition. And we won a recording contract with Integrity Music, and the album was released in 150 countries around the world.
Oh. Raymond & Co. I'm sorry, we can't just stop there. Raymond & Co. are the most amazing group that I've ever seen. I'm not talking about me being here, because you know, you blink and you miss me. That's how long I was there. But you went from strength to strength to strength. There was nothing normal about Raymond & Co. Your vocal ability was just outstanding. Your musicianship was just outstanding. The anointing that was on you was just outstanding. The glory of God always seemed to manifest when you all sang. There was just something so different about you. When you went to a church, they didn't have church like they thought they were going to have church. You took them to the throne. Raymond & Co. took you to the throne of God, and things started to happen. I saw them with my own eyes, and I was amazed. You didn't even have to make an altar call. I saw, ladies and gentlemen, I saw people crawling to the altar to get saved. I saw people crying and having to get to where they needed to get to. The power of God was in such operation. There was so much taking place in the atmosphere. It was astounding. Did you, at that point, did you realise how big the call on your life was?
Yes and no. You know, the Bible talks about, you know, going from glory to glory. And I knew that there was something really powerful, and I knew there was something that would go beyond the group, because truthfully, I've always known that God's called me to preach to nations. I've always known that. From a child, I know I'm called to preach and to declare his heart to people. And what used to happen, like, we get on stage, and as you said, there would be this moment when we'll be singing and something used to just switch.
Yes.
And then it was almost like if God himself had stepped into the concert.
Definitely.
And he began to sing.
Definitely.
And I just felt like, you know what, this is the reason why we're here. So if and when that happens, just go with it.
Yeah.
So I began to get glimpses of what the future would hold, but I didn't quite fully understand at that time what was to come.
Many accolades.
Mobile Awards.
Wonderful.
3 Urban Musical Awards.
Oh, he just says it like it's just nothing.
But,
Mobile Awards. And
you know,
that is a great achievement.
We give God thanks. We give God
The
thanks.
number one UK gospel group. A great achievement. Wonderful. You've gone all over the world as a group, and you've sung, and you've been recognised all over the world by many accredited, many renowned artists themselves. Tell us some of the artists that you've shared the stage with.
Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, Vanessa Bell Armstrong, Kim Burrell, Deirdre Haddon, Mary, Vicky Winans.
Take a breath, take a breath.
I'm using time
There's
wisely.
there's so many.
I mean, so many, just so many. Albertina Walker, Lord Demeter Haddon.
How did you feel meeting these people?
Do you know the funny thing? It felt quite normal in this sense, and I'll tell you why I say that. In our first rehearsal, I told the guys that we would share the stage with Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
I told them that we would share the stage with the Clark sisters. They laughed. But I think they nearly cried when it happened.
Special vision, though.
Yeah. So I mean, but it was a humbling experience at the same time. So yeah.
Okay then, so we're going to move on a little bit further. So Raymond & Co. now, you've taken it all over the world, and you're renowned, and you know, you're all over the magazines and the newspapers, and everybody's screaming your name. And then, as time went on, the group disbanded, if you like, for whatever reason. What have you done since then?
Well, I want to just say this, that the disbanding is this. We are working on our next album as we speak.
Oh, I'm so glad. So wonderful.
This will be kind of like, how can I describe it? This will be the chapter that closes, that opens a new book.
Oh, so it's not over.
Not in the way that we would say over, but that's something you always see in time to come. But we began to record, and the album sounded really amazing.
Okay, so we wait for that then.
Yeah.
All right then.
With that, I became a vocal trainer as I vocal trained the group. I went out and I worked with Alexander Burke,
Yes.
Jessie J, many young people, many establishments, schools, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was really, really good. I never really wanted to solo sing, but I would get asked to go and sing solos at places. I've travelled, sung.
And you have the most amazing voice.
Well,
You do. That's all right, you don't have to say it.
yeah.
Go on. You're travelling and you're singing.
Travelling, singing, doing stuff, preaching, mentoring, but always been aware that I've got to pay this vow. I promised God I was going to go back into the prison when I was in prison. And I would go every now and again, but I knew when I felt that it was time to really go back.
Come on.
So I started to go back, and God really just kind of made it clear that it was in this. And you know when you're doing something that's right because it's fruitful in a purposeful, righteous way.
Yes, definitely.
You know, if you're never sure if you're doing the right thing or not, look at what comes as a result of it.
Yeah.
If it's purposeful, fruitful in a righteous way, in a way that is clean, right and pure, then you know you're on the right track. Going into the prison, you know, we were seeing men's lives transformed, we were seeing people touched by the presence of God. We were seeing hardened, tough men that would come in with their face looking like they'd been baptized in starch, basically. Broken, melted, softened, you know, their characters being changed and been reformed. And, you know, when I saw that, I was like, you know what, I need to be doing more of this. So I began to hold concerts in Belmarsh Prison under the tutelage of Chaplain Anderson Smith.
Okay.
And before we knew it, we were getting requests to go to prisons around the country. And even as I speak, we're just getting emails to go. So we've been going from prison to prison, taking the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now we're meeting up with guys on the out, mentoring guys on the out, advising them, counselling them, and just being a brother.
What a divine connection, though, you meeting Alison Smith. What a divine connection.
Now that was like God himself. Apparently, well, I know the story. Josie Pitkin, the founder of this very project, was in prison at the same time. She heard about us through him.
Yeah.
She invited us in, we went in, and it was an answer to prayer, basically. And going into Belmarsh, it really kind of shaped my perception of what God could do in a prison.
Come on.
Had it been another prison, I don't think what we saw happen would have happened. But we saw God come in such a real and powerful way that my thing, okay, that's the benchmark, I'm not going below that. So when we go to prisons now, sometimes I'm like, okay, you don't want to be too loud. I was just thinking, you're bringing the wrong person, sister. We go in and we just share the gospel of Jesus Christ with a passion. Let me tell you something, right? It's 2012. People don't want dead church.
Come on.
People don't want dead anything. If it's dead, it's supposed to be in the ground.
Come on.
If you're above the ground, you should be live there.
Come on.
And that's what people want. We're just determined that we're going to let the life of Christ shine through us.
Yes.
If we're speaking, speak with passion.
Yes.
If you're singing, do it emphatically.
Come on.
You know, there's no time to be quiet. No, we don't want that in 2012. Because Nicki Minaj is not giving that.
Come on.
Beyonce is not giving that. JC's not, and that's what we're competing with, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
You know, there's a kingdom of darkness and a kingdom of light.
That's
And if
right.
Jesus said, if you got your light and you put it under a bucket, it can't shine.
No.
So you've got to position yourself and be vibrant.
Yes.
People must look at you and think, you know what, I want some of that what you've got.
Yes.
Even if I don't want to make it, even if they're like a Nicodemus and come at night time and say, yo, fam, I want some of that.
Yes.
Yeah? We'll see what they do.
And you're so infectious with what you do. Everybody warms to you. I mean, I know when you were out on the street, you met so many different types of people, old, young, different cultures. And you've come now into this prison environment, and you're meeting with people, different ages, different age groups, different cultures. How did they relate to you? What did they feel?
Well, they would always say, and to this day they say that they feel God. A lot of the prisoners would say to us, it's the best service they've ever had since they've been in prison.
Wow.
They would say that they could feel love coming from us. One of them gave us an amazing compliment. I go with Love Life UK, which is my brother's prison ministry. We work together. One of the guys said to Bruce, he said that Isaiah makes us feel human. And that touched my heart. Because for me, I don't look at them as prisoners per se. They are men and soon to be women that have made mistakes, like every one of us. It's just that they got caught and there was a penalty.
Oh, you said something there. Men and soon to be women. Tell us about the soon to be women.
Yeah, I'm going to go into women's prison within the next 3 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So, you're in the prison now. Is there anything on the pipeline apart from this album that you've divulged to us? Is there anything else that you're currently doing? You're a wonderful television presenter. Has anybody seen him presenting on television? You're an excellent television presenter, a mentor, vocal coach, you name it, teacher, preacher. What's on the pipeline?
With this whole prison thing, you know, we really believe that there's going to be a real upsurge nationally for this prison thing. So we're actually planning a prison tour as we speak. We're going to go across this country, taking a church revival through the prisons.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I've been involved in training prisoners as well, so that's something I want to see as well.
That's interesting.
And I will be back on TV.
Oh, wonderful.
I will be back on TV.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Gotta make a change. Broken hearts so heavy, no one around, so lonely. You've tried to find a way to make it out, but deep inside you call on the one you know who makes you strong. Call on the Lord, break the mold and make a change. I've gotta show them how to love, to live, to dream. I've gotta live out loud, do what I can. I've gotta spread the word of life so they can live. Broken hearts so heavy, no one around, so lonely. You've tried to find a way to make it out, but deep inside you call on the one you know who makes you strong. Call on the Lord. Call on the Lord. Break the mold and make a change. I've gotta show them how to love, to live, to dream. I've gotta live out loud, do what I can. I've gotta spread the word of life so they can live. Break the mold and make a change. I've gotta show them how to love, to live, to dream. I've gotta live out loud.